How's it going? My name is Chris Winger, and I'm just a normal guy. And just kidding. I've always been a bit weird, a little bit odd. And that's not just something I've come to accept, but embrace. When I was a kid, I would quietly repeat things that I said to other people, like this. I would quietly repeat things that I said to other people, like this. I knew I did it, but I didn't really think about it until people started pointing it out. Another weird little thing I did was this. If I ran my fingers over something or stroked something with my hand, I had to do it again, but in the opposite direction. If possible, I'd do it again, but start from the opposite direction. Then start the whole procedure over again, but in the opposite order. Now this could go on for as long as I could keep track of how many times I needed to do it again and from what direction to start. But there could never really be balance. You had to start from one direction. Me and some friends were watching a movie at my sister's house one time, and I had to get up to go to the bathroom or maybe get some snacks or something. Now, as I passed by one of my friends, the knuckles of my left hand grazed her knee from left to right. The only thing I could think about until I came back was how to undo it. How to, again, graze her knee with my left hand, but in the opposite direction, without being too obvious about it. I went back into the living room, and as I passed her again, moved the knuckles of my left hand, which now was on the opposite side, so I had to kind of reach around, across her knee from right to left. It was weird. She looked weird. I tried to act casual. Nobody said anything, but at least a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I think my brain does things a little differently sometimes. This can lead to me looking really dumb in certain situations, because some people can't figure out how I could possibly misinterpret something a certain way, or why my brain decided to take this weird route to a solution of a problem instead of how most people would do it. I've learned to not show people how I go about processing things in my head, to avoid awkward situations and snarky remarks. It's not that I want to fit in. I don't care much about that at all. It's just not worth showing people your true colors if they think everything should be beige. But being different is far from a bad thing in a lot of cases. In the art world, you can be as weird as you like, and a lot of people will even appreciate your weirdness. Not everyone will enjoy peeking into a mind they can't understand. They don't feel the need to be intellectually challenged. There's art for those people too. These people often mistake creativity for some sort of mental illness. As soon as they leave their safe space of movies and music that they can understand, they say things like, "How do they come up with this stuff?" And I don't mean to say that art that feels safe is bad. My favorite movie of all time is Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Sassy! Sassy! My boys! My boys! Sassy! Sassy! Oh, go for it. Chance! Shut up! Sassy! Oh, shut up!
I'm not crying. Why would I be crying? This isn't even a sad scene. Some people seem to think that creative people must have a screw loose. I remember back around the time when the movie Saw came out, we'd rent it from the video store, and someone said something along the lines of, "You have to be pretty messed up to come up with something like this." Now, I could easily come up with something way more disturbing and tasteless and offensive than anything you'd see in the Saw movie. Not that I have any desire to do so, because it's not really my thing, but it's not hard to just make stuff up. It doesn't mean that you're a psycho. But when you see how little imagination some people have, you can almost understand how they might think that artists like Kate Bush must be crazy. She's not crazy. She's a genius. And I don't like to just throw around the word genius like that, but what 18-year-old writes a song like Wuthering Heights? Genius. Some people like to put LP records up as decoration in their homes. It's usually something cool like a classic rock album, maybe Deep Purple. Even though I never liked slim fit pants and I like a clean shave, I'm still a millennial, and I have done this too. If you walk into my kitchen and look to the right, you'll see the following albums. A comedy album by Swedish comedian Martin Ljung. He was the kind of guy who could say almost anything and make it funny. His partner in crime, Povel Ramel. They'd do a bunch of stuff together. Povel had a way with words like no one else. But he didn't just write funny songs, he had some really beautiful ones too. Of course, Vince Guaraldi's soundtrack for Peanuts. Charles M. Schulz never liked the name Peanuts. It wasn't his idea. He'd rather call it Good Old Charlie Brown. I might earn some cool points for Twin Peaks, but that's okay. I think these records will give people an idea of who I am. Pretty wholesome guy, likes to laugh, a little bit weird. At least that's how I see myself. And you know what? I like being me. I like being weird. If you stop trying to hide all your little quirks, you'll realize that confidence isn't a facade you put up. It's being comfortable in your own skin. Even if you're a huge dork. You'll stop trying to impress people who have nothing in common with you, and you'll attract the people who will appreciate you for who you really are. Maybe you shouldn't tell your date about the dream you had, about taking a course on how to cook a human head, like I did. Not a great idea. But she's my girlfriend now, so everything turned out okay after all. As always, I'm not sure where I'm going with all of this. If you wanted a well-written video essay about something smart, you've come to the wrong place. I'm just thinking out loud again. But people out there seem to like it. Maybe you guys are just as weird as me. Maybe even weirder. You gotta agree. Being weird is pretty cool. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I have to go play the toilet paper roll for Alfred.